Yeah, we here, we on? We live yet? We live. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another edition of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. Come on in, have a seat. Yeah, come on in, have a seat. Grab a plate. Definitely grab a plate. Got some food. Food for thought for you. Come on in. Yeah, what's going on? Everybody good? Turn the light on that way. There we go. Who that in the chat? All things. Steve Mega, what's up? My fault, Steve Mega. I don't know why I always call you. I guess I'm used to hearing the media about Mac. What's going on, Steve? We good? Salute. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. We're going to talk about some boxing. You know, I'm in a really good mood today. I really feel like being controversial today, but I'm not. Psych. Yeah, what's good? Where we at with it? I can't even find my what's the name? I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, we got some boxing to talk about, man. Tim Tszyu's fighting. I think, yeah, Tim Tszyu he's fighting. Is he fighting this weekend, right? I think Tim Tszyu is fighting this weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna look that back up because I think he's fighting this weekend. Tim Tszyu. Well, let me look that up real quick. Yeah, Tim Tszyu fighting this weekend, I think. We're gonna find out. Come on, man. Stop playing. Yes, I was correct. Yeah, Tim Tszyu is fighting this weekend. I don't know how to properly pronounce his opponent's name, but his opponent is 22-0. He 22-0. 22 wins, no losses. Yeah, he's 22-0. 16 of those 22 wins have come by way of knockout. But the issue that I'm having, well, it's not really an issue, but people trying to hype it up as if this guy right here is really going to let Tim Tszyu walk over him, man. And I don't know, because I'm going to keep it all the way 100, honest and real with you all, like I always do. I haven't seen this guy fight before, the opponent for Tim Tszyu. So I really don't know. I really don't know how he fights. I don't know his style. I tried to do some research on him. Didn't really see enough tape on him. I know that in his last fight, he went 11 rounds and scored the TKO. Well, actually a knockout. He scored a knockout in his last fight. And the thing that I noticed about Tim Tszyu's opponent, I'm just going to call him, I'm going to use his initials because I really don't know his name. BM, right? So BM don't have a lot of experience with going the entire 12 rounds, right? And I always look at that for a reason. When I conduct research on professional boxers that I don't know too well, like he's one of them, right? And I look at their experience level because that's how matchmakers do in the business. That's how us managers, that's how we do in the business. You know, that's why promoters pay matchmakers to do that type of work. Not saying that promoters don't do it themselves, but they don't have to. They have so many other things going on. So they basically delegate that responsibility for the matchmakers. And that's one of the things, even as boxing managers, that's what we do. You know, we study. We study fighters. We study behavior patterns inside the ring. We study by going to different gyms to watch certain boxers, right? We know. You know, when when we conduct our research, right? That's why I always tell you that good representation in this business is what? Priceless. Don't I always tell you all that? You never heard it nowhere else. That's why I'm glad that you're here today. And so when we look at the guy, BM, who's the opponent for Tim Tszyu this weekend, you know, we noticed that he's been in several different 10-round fights, but he doesn't have a lot of experience with 12-round fights. And of course, he's matching up against Tim Tszyu, who's a former world champion. And I told y'all before, and I just told you 30 seconds ago, that good representation in this business is priceless. Now, we know that in Tim Tszyu's last fight, he lost some titles. Remember that? To Sebastian Fundora. And so now, his next fight, he's already in the sweepstakes to compete for another world title. And so this is why I want to change the old adage in boxing. Remember, the old adage in boxing for decades have been, you're only as good as your last fight. I say that that's not true. Now, when I didn't know as much as I know about the sport and the business of boxing when I was much younger, I thought that that old adage was true. But that old adage is not true. There's no credence to it. And I'm going to give you an example of why I say there's no credence to it. Because a professional boxer can knock out an opponent, right, in their last fight and then get knocked out in their next fight. You see my point? And it's based on how many rounds that professional boxer competed in their last fight. I'll give you an example to go further in my illustration. Deontay Wilder, right? Remember when Deontay Wilder fought Robert Helenius? Y'all remember that, right? You remember that. He knocked out Robert Helenius in the first round. I was there at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I watched that live. Knocked him out cold, first round. But in Deontay Wilder's next fight, you saw what happened to him. In other words, he didn't even get an opportunity to have the time to get more rounds in, to shake the ring rust off, because he was coming off of a layoff after losing to Tyson Fury that second time, right? Which ended in TKO fashion, right? So in his next fight, he was on the other end. He was on the receiving end of a knockout. And so it's not about you're only as good as your last fight. No, I'm changing that adage. You're only as good as your representation. You're only as good as your team around you. That's a fact. And I'm including the trainers. I'm including the cut man or cut women. I'm including the boxing manager. I'm including the boxing promoter. That's all a part of a professional boxer's team. A professional boxer is only as good as the team. So I said all that to say that Tim Tszyu obviously have good representation if he lost his titles in his last fight and in his first fight back into the ring, right? He's fighting for another world title. If that's not good business, maybe I don't know what is. But that is good business. And on top of that, if he wins, he will instantly be in the sweepstake to unify the titles. Because remember what I told y'all last week, that I believe that Tim Tszyu, Errol Spence Jr., Sebastian Fundora, and Terrence Crawford should have a 4-way tournament to have a unified, undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. Because we know that Sebastian Fundora is scheduled to fight Errol Spence in early 2025. So Terrence Crawford just fought not too long ago, right? A couple months ago, Terrence Crawford fought. He's now a title holder. Sebastian Fundora has the other 2 belts. And now we see Tim Tszyu competing for the IBF. That's 4 belts right there. Double salute to my guy, Jeremy Austin. He's a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew because he's a member of the channel. Good to see you, my man. What's good with you, Jeremy? Come on in, y'all. Come on in. I'm not going to hold you too long. Come on in. Come on in. Let's talk some boxing. Yeah, we're going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis. Yes, we're going to talk about that. I know that everybody, is up in arms about, Gervonta Tank Davis, getting, I guess, kicked out of Floyd Mayweather's gym as he was preparing for a fight and all of that. And of course, his other videos and social media posts surfacing around because Gervonta Davis is in the video. Matter of fact, he's in a couple of videos, on YouTube with P Diddy. I guess that's his friend or his homie or whatever like that. So, people are, are raving about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Rayo, who fired Jose Benavidez Sr., the father of David Benavidez and Jose Benavidez Jr. We're going to talk about that. But first, before I do all of that, can we get the likes up? I just need one. I don't ask for much. Just one like. Can I get a like? At least so it can be congruent with the viewership. Because see, here's the thing. I use, not all the time, but some of the time, I use these topics as teachable moments to educate you, the boxing community, to educate you, the boxing public, to educate you, the professional boxer that watch this channel, and also to educate you, the content creator. Because I have a lot of different content creators from different niches, particularly in boxing, that watch the channel. Some support the channel and some don't. But the bottom line is, it's all about empowering other people. I don't ask for much. Can I get a like? I want to tell y'all something, right? I'm the least paid content creator, but the most imitated. When it comes to I'm only talking about boxing. I'm not talking about no other niche on YouTube, no other category. Boxing. In the YouTube boxing community, I'm the least paid, but the most criticized. I'm the least paid, but the most insulted. I'm the least paid, but the most controversial. I'm the least paid and the most imitated. That's all I'm saying. Hey, and it's all good. Yeah, so I'm just saying if Tim Tszyu wins this fight, of course, he'll be the IBF champion. And look, they might as well make this a tournament. Because it's crazy because Jamel Herring, he just did an interview. I don't know how recent, but I don't know if it was today. I don't know if it was, I heard a little bit of it today. I don't know if it was yesterday that he did the interview or this week. But Jamel Herring conducted an interview and he claimed that Terrence Crawford, or at least that's what he heard, I don't know, that Terrence Crawford is in talks or negotiations to fight Tim Tszyu. But the thing is, it's not a guarantee that Tim Tszyu might win this fight. This is boxing. Anything can happen. So I'm not going to just write the guy BM. I'm just calling him BM because I don't know how to pronounce his first, nor do I know how to pronounce his last name. But that's the opponent for Tim Tszyu. I don't know if Tim Tszyu is going to win. I would like for Tim Tszyu to win and become a two-time world champion in this division. But I don't know because I don't know too much about his opponent. I try to conduct as much research as possible, but we don't know. I mean, the guy that Tim Tszyu is fighting, He's 22 wins, 16 knockouts out of 22 wins. He has 0 losses. He's undefeated. But he doesn't have a lot of experience, especially compared to Tim Tszyu, and especially being actively involved in scheduled 12-round fights. Not saying that he has endurance issues, or not saying that BM, the opponent for Tim Tszyu, may not be able to last for 10 or 11, 12 rounds. We don't know. Because remember, I told you all that in my keys to victory for Bivol. Y'all remember that? Against Benavidez. Remember when I broke down? That was last week. And I thought that Bivol was going to use his experience with being in scheduled 12-round fights to take Benavidez into deep waters after attacking the body. That's what I said. That was my breakdown. To attack Benavidez's body early on, make those early investments so that coming down the stretch, Benavidez's energy would be zapped and he wouldn't have a lot of aggression when he would try to come and walk Bivol down, especially in the later rounds, where Bivol's experience will take over, walk him in the deep waters, and then win on points. But that's not the case. That wasn't the case. That did not happen. In fact, Bivol, in my assessment, and I told you this last week by the phone booth, in my assessment, Bivol actually did not close out the show in the last 2 rounds. In the 11th and 12th rounds, where I believe it mattered the most for him, he actually allowed Benavidez to outwork him. And so I'm saying all that to say, I could apply those same principles with Tim Tszyu fighting his opponent this weekend. I'm going to call him BM because I don't know how to pronounce his first or last name if you're just joining. Tim Tszyu has a lot of experience in scheduled 12-round fights, but BM, his opponent, do not. So, of course, Tim Tszyu can use that to his advantage. But at the same time, just like Benavidez didn't have experience, this guy don't have experience against Tim Tszyu, but this is boxing. We don't know what's going to happen. Of course, we know who the favorite to win in this fight. We know it's Tim Tszyu. But this is Tim Tszyu's first fight back since he was injured in his fight that he lost, the last fight, against Sebastian Fundora, where he lost his titles. And so, once again, apparently he has good representation because he just lost his belts months and months ago this year. But here it is, first fight back, he's fighting and competing again for another world title. If that's not good business, I don't know what is. That's good business because that's what having good representation is all about. Andre Noble and Farid, what's going on with y'all brothers? Good to see y'all. What's up, Victor? So that's all I'm saying. So we're going to see. I'm going to give a background and a breakdown of the fight between Tim Tszyu and BM sometime tomorrow. I'm going to drop a video on that. I agree with you, Vic. You're right. Tim was definitely winning the fight, especially them early rounds. He was beating Fundora to the punch. That's true. Hitting him with combinations. His footwork was impeccable. He was outboxing Fundora. Clash your head. Was it fun? I forgot. I mean, it's crazy because I did a live commentary on that fight, and I can't remember, was this his elbow? I think it was his elbow. Don't quote me on that. I think it was Fundora's elbow. Or was it, no, it wasn't his head. I think it was his elbow. It was an accidental clash. I think that was between his elbow. Thank you, Freddie. See, I know my boxing. I know my boxing. It was his elbow that, cut his head, cut Tim Tszyu right here in his head. And after that, Tim Tszyu still was banging it out, though. He's still stuck in there. He didn't quit. He definitely had and showed good mental fortitude. He definitely didn't quit. Oh my goodness, my brother's here. The one and only, the real D-Town Boxing. Double salute. My God, my brother, D-Town Boxing in the building. Because I say the real D-Town Boxing, because I think there's another guy who tried to call himself D-Town. He's a guy that, y'all know who he is. He's not I don't think he's a content creator, but he's a big, huge fan of Terrence Crawford. And him and his other guy came over here a long time ago. Yeah, he's not uh he's not a favorite of the channel. He, you know, the other D-Town. I don't think his name. I don't even think he put boxing at the end of his name. I think he just say D-Town. He know who he is. He probably watching now. But the real D-Town on YouTube is D-Town Boxing. That's the real D-Town. I don't know, this other guy might be an imposter. I don't know. You know what I mean? But we're going to see. But like I said before, I told y'all this last week, Tim Tszyu can win this fight, become the IBF champion. Fundora got both the belts. Errol Spencer's coming back to fight Fundora beginning of 2025. And then Terrence Crawford, he already holds a belt. So my thing is, why not turn it into a mini tournament so we can have an undisputed, unified junior middleweight champion of the world? Now, like I said a few seconds ago, I don't know if this is true or not, but Jamel Herring, he said in a recent interview that Terrence Crawford is in talks with Terrence Crawford. But Jamel Herring don't represent the business of boxing. He don't represent Terrence Crawford. He's not a boxing manager or promoter or anyone on the inside that knows what's going on. So I can't take his word for it and say, oh, because Jamel Herring said it, that's what's going on. I don't know. But my thing is, let Tim Tszyu fight first. This might not be a guaranteed win for him. Let the man fight first. If he wins, which I think he should win, which I think he will win, and I actually do hope that he actually does win. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens next. Because check this out. If Fundora win against Errol Spence, you know Tim Tszyu gonna want that get back. Tim Tszyu gonna want that rematch with Fundora, and then they can bring the two of Fundora's titles that he have, and then the title that Tim Tszyu have if he wins this Saturday. That's 3 belts right there. And then the winner can fight Terrence Crawford. Or either way you slice it, these are the fights that boxing need. I mean, I guess that's really the point that I'm really making and driving home. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely see. My man, always supporting the channel. Double salute. Andre Noble, thank you for your contribution in Super Chat, brother. Andre says in the Super Chat, for the grind, brother. Yes, I'm starting to get back into the rhythm of grinding back again on YouTube and stepping my levels up, preparing for 2025. So I appreciate the support, Dre. Always a pleasure, my brother. Thank you again, man. Much love and support to you. So that's what I wanted to say about Tim Tszyu and his opponent, because he is fighting this weekend. I'm going to break all that down and give y'all an analysis and all that good stuff that I always give you guys and ladies that support the channel. I'm going to drop a video on that sometime tomorrow. So Rayo Velasquez, he fired the father and trainer of Jose Benavidez Jr. and David Benavidez Sr. David Benavidez, their father. Jose Benavidez Sr. So we got Jose Benavidez Jr. and David Benavidez, both are brothers. Their father, Jose Benavidez Sr., was the trainer of Valenzuela for a while now. What I say, Velasquez? Man, I'm sorry, Fareed. Corbin, I apologize. I thought I said Valenzuela. Right, yeah. Valenzuela. And he can really fight too. I really like Valenzuela's style, man. He can really box. And I started watching him a while ago before he fought Chris Colbert. Before he fought Colbert. What's up, Cash Crypto? Mac Marty is activated. Mac, when you see, hey, I want to tell y'all this real quick. Speaking of Mac Marty, so the glasses that I'm wearing, right? They're not sunglasses. They're actually my prescription glasses. I just have them tinted. It's called gradient tint. So it looked like they're actually sunglasses, but they're not. But you know, yeah, Mac Marty's activated. Thank you, Cash. I almost forgot about him because I haven't even seen Mac Marty in a long time. I'm glad you reintroduced him, Cash. I appreciate it. Now, when I start seeing ladies in the chat, you know Mac Marty's, you know he's gonna come out. I'm gonna go get him. You know I'm gonna go get him. Because guess what? We haven't even acknowledged the ladies on the channel watching live and live in color. I'm just starting to get back in the groove of things. That's all I'm saying, Chino. Chino Figueroa, that's all I'm saying, Chino. Now, look, check this out. Valenzuela. Rayo Valenzuela, right? He fired David Benavidez Sr. Now, I'm going to try to see if I can roll the tape because Jose Benavidez Sr. was in the interview, right? I just was watching it not too long ago. And he basically said he knew nothing about it. That Rayo Velasquez put it on Instagram, which that's public record. We already know that. We saw that. Some of us saw that. Some of us did not. But yeah, so on Instagram, Rayo put it out there, you know, that basically he's parting ways with Jose Benavidez Sr. as his trainer. Obviously, we know who his trainer was in his last fight. The fight that he actually won the title against my guy. I like Isaac Cruz a lot. Isaac Cruz. I'm talking about Robert Garcia. Now, here's the thing. Oh, yeah, well, okay, yes, I want to say that, Fareed. But before I do, yes, Fareed, you are absolutely correct. So, Jose Benavidez Sr. was the trainer and the manager, to my understanding, more so managing him. And he parted ways with him. But here's the thing. Jose Benavidez Sr. did also say that even though he did not know that that Rayo was going to basically fire him because he didn't get a phone call from Rayo, he did say that there was a package that was mailed to the gym that he was not available physically to open it, and it may have been obviously a certified letter. Basically is what he was implying, a certified letter where Rayo basically told him formally, as a professional should, and then he went on Instagram after the fact. So they decided to part ways, but more so, Rayo is the one who basically was like, I don't want him managing me anymore. I don't know why. I'm talking about, when I say don't know why, I mean the underlining reason. I don't know why. Double salute to my guy, Victor. Thank you for your support. As always, Vic, appreciate your support and contribution to the channel. And in the super chat, Victor says, manager, off topic. Do you think Darrell was winning against Benavidez before the eye cut? I'm gonna tell you something. I think Anthony Darrell, the brother of Andre, I think Anthony Darrell was doing a relatively good job against Benavidez before he got cut. Yes, I do. he was doing a really, really good job because Benavidez, you know, they call him the Mexican monster for a reason. But I want to say something about this, Victor, and I don't know if you followed David Benavidez's career, but I'm going to tell you something because I noticed something about David, and I'm not hating on David Benavidez. I'm not hating on him. So when I say this, I don't want people to misinterpret anything that I'm about to say, but y'all know me. I don't shy away from any controversy, so it is what it is. Double salute to my homegirl. She's a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew, member of the channel. 2 Cents Boxing is with us. There was a guy that the money team, Floyd Mayweather from Mayweather Promotions, there was a guy that was being promoted by Floyd Mayweather, right? Who David Benavidez fought. He fought him twice. I have to say this because I've been pointed this out a long time ago, even though the fight happened way before I even got on YouTube. But I pointed this out because Caleb Plant is with the snack program with Victor Conte, and Victor Conte came out and he put out a tweet. Do y'all remember this? Some of y'all might not remember this. Okay? He put out a tweet. This was a couple years ago now. A year and a half ago. He put out a tweet. And he said boxing needs to get woke because smart cheaters know how to circumvent the testing for PEDs. Y'all remember that? And then he added David Benavidez and David Benavidez's strength and conditioning coach at the time, Memo Heredia, who is Victor Conte's nemesis. And he basically was implying that Memo Heredia, being in the camp of David Benavidez, is still doing shady business. That's what Victor Conte was implying when he put that tweet out there. And so I was given a history lesson. And one of the things I said, which I'm going to repeat right now, since we're talking about David Benavidez, is the fact that David Benavidez fought Gavin. He fought him twice. Some of y'all might not even remember this. This is like 2017 or 18? It's a while ago. And in that first fight, Gavin won that. Gavin beat David Benavidez in my personal humble observation in that first fight. And to me, Gravel did enough to win that. But here's the thing that I noticed in that second fight. In the second fight, go back and watch this fight, man. You're going to see, when I say a drastic contrast, when I say a 180-degree turn, when I say it was like night and day, from how David Benavidez looked in the first fight, which was night, and then how he looked in the rematch, which is day, he looked different to me. In fact, let me go a step further. His performance looked enhanced to me. And I have to include the fact, which is real reason why I'm saying that, the fact is that in the second fight, in the rematch against Gravel, David Benavidez hired Alex Ariza. Y'all remember him? Y'all remember? Come on, don't act like y'all don't know. I have some boxing historians on here watching me live in living color and even watching the replay of this live. Alex Ariza, the strength and conditioning coach. You know the guy that Freddie Roach fired? You know the guy that really helped Pacquiao be who he was? Don't let me go and give you the history on Alex Ariza. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, you know when you hire Alex Ariza, how you look. Don't forget, Alex Ariza was in the corner Don't forget this. When Marcos Maidana fought Adrian Broner. Y'all remember that? Oh, okay. I'm just saying, when you bring Alex Ariza around, you look different in your fights. That's all. That's all I can say. When you when you bring Victor Conte around in your corner, you look different in your fights. That's all. Hey, that's all. When you bring Memo Heredia around in your camp, you look different in your fights. That's all I'm saying. And David Benavidez looked real different. He looked tremendously different when he fought Gravel that second time. And you see what he did to him. I mean, he just annihilated Gravel, man, in that rematch. So all I'm saying is, since we're talking about David Benavidez Sr., Jr., he might have a son. He might be a senior. I don't know. I don't know why I guess because his dad's a senior. I don't know why I keep saying senior. But to me, to answer Victor's original question, I believe that Darrell was doing a tremendous job against a bigger fighter, because you know Benavidez was naturally bigger than Darrell. He's just a big guy. Hey, 2 Cents Boxing. Hey, listen here. That's who Bill Haney and Devin should be suing you, right? For who am I? I was going to say it, but it sounds better when you say it. Because, you know, when I talk like that about the snack program and strength and conditioning and Victor Conte and Devin Haney, you know, people call me a hater. And Terrence Crawford with him and Caleb Plant, you know, they call me a hater, 2 Cents. You know, so I wait some time for other people to say it first, then I come. And guess what? It don't make a difference who said it. You know, I'm going to say what I want. It don't make me no difference. And we know how these fighters look different when you got Victor Conte in your camp. We know how these fighters look different when you got Alex Ariza in your camp. I don't even know where Alex Ariza at. Probably retired. I don't know. You know you look different. You know these fighters look different when you have Memo Heredia in your camp. We already know this. There's no secret. We know what time it is. And what time it is, your performance will be enhanced. Now, whether it's legal or illegal, I'm not an expert and I'm not accusing. Let me put that out there. You know, 2024 has been the year of lawsuits. I don't know who's cheating. I am not saying someone's on performance enhancements. Let me reframe that. Illegal performance enhancements, because Devin Haney admitted that he's using performance enhancements. That's what Devin Haney admitted in the Netflix documentary when he said, yeah, it's performance enhancement without the drugs. That's what Devin Haney said. Don't get mad at me because his performance is being enhanced. Don't get mad at me. That's why his dad took him over there. Now, his dad told another content creator, Champside, which y'all know I destroyed Champside. You know I destroyed him. But he told him in the interview last year when the documentary came out, he hired Victor Conte to catch everybody else cheating. I'm just going by what these guys said. Don't get mad at me. That's all I'm saying. So, Rayo wanted better representation. Now, I got to say this, and some of you might not like it, but you know I make observations, and most of the observations I make when it comes to boxing, nobody else make them. And that's what makes me unique, and that's okay. I dig deeper than what's on the surface in boxing. Y'all know that. You know Robert Garcia is the trainer now for Rayo. Huh? You know that, right? Okay. Who is Robert Garcia close to when it comes to strength and conditioning? Come on, y'all. Y'all got to be on point, because most of y'all was here when I had the man on this channel, live interview twice, 5 hours. And remember, the man I'm talking about, he brought Robert Garcia's name up. I didn't. Thank you, 2 Cents Boxing. 2 Cents Boxing said it in the chat. She gave y'all the answer to the test. Victor Conti. He said, this is what Victor Conti told me. I got the tape. Don't make me, I got the tape, right? You know I own the footage. It happened on my channel. You know I got the footage. He said that he sponsored Robert Garcia's gym. That's why you see Robert Garcia be having on the snack shirts, even though he's a trainer. You know that, right? Okay. His younger brother, Mikey Garcia, snack program. Bam Bam Rodriguez, snack program. So I wouldn't be surprised, since Rayo is with Robert Garcia now, I wouldn't be surprised if Rayo is on a snack program. Because the young man didn't look like he was gassed out at all in them later rounds. Because he was working hard against Pitbull Cruz. I mean, let's just be honest, he was. He was working real hard. I think Rayo was on snack, but I can't prove it yet. And if he's not now, the longer he hang out with Robert Garcia, he will be. You can mark my words. And they might be watching this. And I don't have anything against Robert Garcia. I think he's a really good trainer. And I love Mikey Garcia. Oh, absolutely. The whole Garcia family. You know what I mean? That's boxing royalty. All I'm saying is Rayo's performance looked a little bit enhanced in that. I'm just telling y'all how I think and what I think. I don't want to start no I do want to start controversy, of course. But all I'm saying is it makes you think about who is who in the sport of boxing. That's all I'm saying. Just makes you know. You just got to educate yourself. Because Victor Conti told me, when he looks at fighters and see that in the later rounds, they don't get winded or gassed out, or their activity increases, he said all he does is he looks at who they're associated with, and then he makes a determination on what things that they ain't, what things they're doing they ain't not supposed to. That's what Victor Conti told me. And he told thousands of people that watched in that live interview and all around the world in the replay of it. And I have the evidence. I got the footage because it's my content. I'm just telling you what he told me. So when I use the same formula that Victor Conti used, why y'all hating on me? Why y'all get mad at me? Victor Conti said he used another formula to determine that Manny Pacquiao was on steroids his whole career. He said he watched Pacquiao's last 3 fights. Y'all remember that? I'm just telling you what the man. But guess what? When I said I'm going to adopt Victor Conti's formula, the 3-fight formula, when I did that, people criticized me. Victor Conti said it. Nobody said nothing to him. Didn't even criticize him. But then when I used the same formula to illustrate my point on fighters that's with him, whose performances are enhanced, I became the bad guy. Like, remember I was talking about Terrence Crawford? In his last 3 performances, from Errol Spence to David Ebenezer. Y'all remember? Come on, don't act like it. To Sean Porter. That was his last 3 fights. And I used the same barometer that Victor Conti used against Manny Pacquiao. The only difference is Victor Conti said that Manny Pacquiao, in his estimation, in his opinion, is using steroids. I never accused Terrence Crawford of using steroids. That's the difference. But I did say his performance was enhanced. And you know it. You know Terrence Crawford's performance was enhanced. You know it was. Nobody else knocked down Sean Porter more than 1 time in his whole career. Terrence Crawford did. That was something different. We've never seen that before. Terrence Crawford never knocked anyone out with 1 punch. And when I say out, I mean out cold. With 1 punch. We've never seen him do that, especially in a 140 or 147-pound division. But he knocked out David Ebenezer, one punch. And then you see how he ran through Errol Spence. And of course, Errol Spence contributed to that because of whatever health issues he was going through, or lack of training or overtraining or whatever, or drinking or whatever his issue was. No excuses. He stepped in the ring. That's not Terrence Crawford's fault. But all I'm saying is we know that when you have Victor Conte in your corner, when you have Victor Conte in your camp, you look different from when you don't have him in there. You remember when I talked about Brian Mendoza? See, I've been calling this out for 2 years that I've been on YouTube, and people been calling me a hater. You remember when Brian Mendoza fought Fundora, knocked Fundora out, bang, one punch. When you ever see Brian Mendoza knock somebody out with one punch? He get with the snack program for 2 fights, and then he just run straight through Fundora and knock. Come on, man. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you like it is, like I always do. So, you know, now let's get back to this this thing here with Rayo, and then I'm going to get to Gervonta Tank Davis. So, Jose Benavidez Sr. is no longer the manager of Rayo. There's nothing wrong with moving forward in the business of boxing. It's a business at the end of the day. What we don't know, and has not been confirmed yet, even though Jose Benavidez Sr. believed that there was a letter or some kind of certified mail that was sent to the gym with Rayo Valenzuela's name on it as the sender, which could have been a certified letter to officially and formally fire him. Bottom line is, he still went on Instagram and basically said that he was parting ways with Jose Benavidez Sr. That left a bad taste in Jose Benavidez Sr.'s mouth because he didn't even get a phone call. Because he looked at Rayo like a son. His words, not mine. He was in a recent interview. I didn't make that up. That's why I'm just going by what he said. And this happens in the business of boxing. To each his own. One of the things I've learned in my experiences in the sport of boxing, and I'm including my experience as an amateur boxing official, referee, and a judge. Y'all know that I am. And even in my experiences as a professional boxing ring announcer, licensed, by the way, you know that I am. And of course, my tenure as a professional boxing manager, licensed in many states, and you know that I am. Most business transactions don't happen on paper. You ain't gonna find this information nowhere else. That's why I'm glad y'all here, man. Most business transactions don't start on paper. Just want y'all to know that. I'll explain that at a later time in depth. I just want y'all to know that. So, there's nothing wrong with Rayo wanting to have a dialogue through documentation, legally speaking, to say, hey, I'm parting ways with you. I no longer need your services or want your services as a manager. I'm moving on with my career. I think what made it distasteful is that he didn't call Jose Benavidez Sr. That's what left a bad taste in Jose Benavidez Sr.'s mouth. He didn't get a phone call. In other words, it wasn't just business between them in their relationship. It was more, they had a personal relationship and business. But at the end of the day, it's just business. It's never personal. So if Jose feel like, you know, the young man snaked him or did him dirty. It is what it is. And guess what? If Rayo sent him a certified letter, it's legal. To each his own. Because at the end of the day, I've been telling y'all this since I've been on YouTube. The professional boxer is the boss. The professional boxer is the boss. That's just the truth. The boxer pays everyone who represents him or her. It's the boss. It's business. It's not personal. It's personal to Jose, obviously, because they had a personal relationship, and he should feel some type of way about not even receiving a phone call. But at the end of the day, it's business. Now, if Rayo didn't send a certified letter and he just went straight on social media, I would not agree with that. I really don't even agree with him going on social media, personally speaking. From a business aspect, I mean, I don't think it's necessary to go on social media to make those references about not wanting to do business with someone else if you've already covered it in a private, legitimate, legal manner. But to each his own. But I will tell you, and mark my words, the longer Rayo stay with Robert Garcia as his trainer, it's the more likely you'll see Rayo with the snack program. That's just my observation. And if it happens, I'm going to come right back here, spin the block, and say, I told you. Now, let me close out with this whole thing about Gervonta Tank Davis and Diddy. P Diddy. Y'all know who P Diddy is. Let me show y'all something real quick. Because this video been surfacing for like 3 years now. And then more videos keep coming out. People doing other videos. Social media is, you know, saying little things about Gervonta Tank Davis' relationship with P Diddy and being at these parties and all that. Just all kind of stuff that's been going on. So I wanted to just render a small little statement over that, because I think people should have their own perspective too. But at the same time, I think people get so invested into creating a narrative when it's not even important. Let me see something real quick. So this is one of the videos that was published back in January 1st, 2021, literally almost 4 years ago, at a New Year's Eve party. I think Diddy was throwing the New Year's Eve party, and Gervonta Tank Davis, who was his homie, or who is his homie, was there. Because I'm saying homie because there's other videos that P Diddy and Gervonta Tank Davis are in, and it could be on the same night, where, you know, they toasting in the air, you know, champagne or whatever like that, with a group of other people. But this video here, I don't even know the person's name. Who's the content creator on this? All Urban Central. I don't think they have anything to do with boxing, but maybe it's an entertainment YouTube channel, I guess. I don't know, but this is what everybody was talking about. But this was like almost 4 years ago, this video I'm about to show y'all. where P Diddy and Gervonta Tank Davis embraced, but Diddy lifted Tank off of his feet briefly as they were hugging. Wasn't nothing major, but you know, people making a big thing out of it right now because of what's going on with P Diddy, and they're pointing fingers at Tank Davis and making some derogatory remarks about Tank Davis. And I wanted to speak on that just a little bit, but here's the video right here. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see it. So Diddy lifted him off of his feet. That's the thing where people keep, like I said, that was January 1st, 2021. They did a little hug, you know what I mean? And Diddy kind of like, you know, lifted Tank up off his feet. So people are making some references, not just on that video, but other videos that people are putting out, you know, talking about, you know, Tank is this and Tank is that, and, you know, referring to his sexual orientation and because of what's going on with Diddy and, well, what's going on with Diddy like right now. But even when that video was first published, I saw people in the comment section of that video, because I just saw that video today that I just showed y'all. And people were just saying certain, you know, things about Tank Davis, you know, and my thing, this is my thing though. What difference does it make? I'm not trying to like really go there, but what difference does it make though? If Tank Davis want to choose his orientation, he's a grown man. That don't have anything to do with boxing. If Tank Davis love women, that's his business. If Tank Davis want to deal with men, that's his business. Why is that something that we need to create on a YouTube platform, especially don't have nothing to do with it? Because I heard a couple people get on other people's platforms, right? When they talk about Tank Davis, because they was defending Devin Haney. There was a time where that was going on with people that was cool with Devin Haney as a fan. When I say cool with, I mean a fan of Devin Haney. And then fans of Gervonta Davis going back and forth on boxing platforms here on YouTube, right? And there were certain people in other people's comment section. They was in my comment section when I made references about Tank Davis being the face of boxing, etc. People were talking about the type of clothes that Tank Davis wearing, the nail polish that he's wearing, the sunglasses he's wearing. You know what I mean? The book bag that he's wearing across his chest and this and that. People just finding all kind of stuff to talk about things that have absolutely nothing to do with boxing. And all I'm saying is, since we're talking about a professional boxer, let's keep it on boxing. We don't have to discriminate against someone's orientation. Let's keep it on boxing. Because that's Tank Davis' personal business. Whatever he doing behind closed doors, let's keep it on boxing. And it's mainly, I'm just talking about the people I be seeing and hearing disrespect Tank Davis. It's mainly his own kind. It's mainly the black people. I'm just putting it out there. Let's keep it on boxing. We're talking about boxing. That's what we're not talking about. Orientation. We're not talking about race. We're not talking about religion. We're just talking about boxing. We're not talking about things that can possibly cause people to get in an uproar or divisive environment because we have differences. Just keep it on boxing. So if people want to hate on Tank, that's on them. But on this channel, we don't hate on Tank Davis. I like Tank Davis. He's a really good fighter. Y'all always heard me say favorable things about Tank because I believe that Tank Davis is the face of boxing, especially here in America. I believe Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing, representing his country too. There's only two faces of boxing, in my opinion, and Tank Davis is one of them. And he's carried it well. Has he had mistakes in his life as a young man? Absolutely. He had legal trouble? Yes, he did. He had issues with women? Yes, he did. But you got to understand, he's been a target. He's been the target too. And when you get to these type of levels of success, these type of temptations happen. But like I always tell y'all, you're only as good as what? Your team around you. That's inside of the ring in boxing and outside of the ring in boxing. So I didn't want to go too far with it. So it don't make no difference to me. Tank Davis is a high draw when it comes to ticket sales, when it comes to pay-per-view buys. And he has a fight coming up in a couple of months at the end of the year against Lamont Roach Jr. I think that's what we should be more focused on. Tank Davis's upcoming fight. Because at the end of the day, he's representing America. And he's representing a lot of the younger fighters who haven't accomplished half of what Tank Davis have accomplished. I'm not condoning anything that he's done in his life privately or things that he's done publicly. I'm talking about him as a professional boxer. And also, I have to say this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tank Davis saw at least one of the videos that I was producing last year when I talked about the snack program, because I mentioned Tank Davis's name, and I did a video on Tank Davis fighting Mario Barrios. Remember Mario Barrios with the snack program? And I kept talking about the snack program, and Tank Davis comes out of the clear blue and said, get that snack, S-H-I-T, out of boxing. Y'all remember that? Okay. Hey, he might not have saw any of my videos. Who cares? But I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Because once I start showing the public after that Terrence Crawford fight about snack, a lot of professional boxers was watching my videos. Some of them was reaching out to me, and I didn't even realize they was watching the videos about snack and about performance enhancement. Once again, I'm not an expert. I'm not saying what's legal or illegal. That's all I'm saying. So Tank Davis didn't reach out to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if he saw them videos. Because right after he said that, all of a sudden now, it started to become controversial where me and Victor Conti was going back and forth. Some of y'all forgot about that last December, to be exact. December of 2023. Some of y'all forgot about that. But Tank Davis's comments spearheaded all of that. Because, of course, Tank Davis has a way bigger following than me. I'm nobody. I'm not even famous. I'm not a celebrity and don't want to be. But he is. That's all I'm saying. You know what? I realized something. I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it.